Since the Ruined King showed up in League of Legends, I had a dream in Minecraft, which is building a mix between the Ruined Kingdom and the Sky City from Mortal Engines. But back then, it was impossible, because I could barely build a Japanese house, but everything changed the moment I met Axiom. It was a few days ago, and I knew the journey of learning how to use Axiom just started. YouTube tutorials are good for the start, but to learn how to use it actually, you need to use your hands. And that's what I did. I hopped in and started using the tools, just learning. And I decided to make something while I was learning. And after 3 hours figuring out how to use the tools, building, coloring, and detailing, I came up with this. And let's be honest, it's dog shit. I mean, the shadows make everything look cool, but this is like absolutely useless. But remember, I'm just learning how to use the tools, and after I learned pretty much everything I need, it's time to start the building, the real one. So this is the blueprint of what I call Viraxis. It's a nice name, don't you agree? It took me 3 hours to come up with this name. But let me tell you about my wish, which is to be a pro builder in Minecraft, like Shovel241. His builds are absolutely insane, and I hope one day I can catch up to his level. But never mind, enough wasting time. Let's get started. As the first mega build, and as a new builder, also second build using Axiom, the start was a nightmare, just like my sister's food. I had no idea where to start, but I wanna make my dream become true, so I rushed the first tower, giving myself no time to think how hard it is. Now, while you're watching the time-lapse, let me tell you about the lore of Viraxis. Above the skies, below the stars, floats a city that should not exist. Viraxis is its name, spoken only in hushed breaths by the old, and never written. It's not on any map, not bound by any time. Long ago, when the world was still raw, and magic bled from the earth like oil, there was a brotherhood of builders. Not men, not quite spirits. They called themselves the Obsidian Circle. They were architects of impossible things. Bridges of bone, towers made from thunder, cathedrals that sang. But Viraxis was their final creation, and it was cursed the moment it was born. The city was built atop a floating island of obsidian and enchanted stone, suspended above the walls by a forgotten magic, one that should never have been disturbed. As they curved its spires higher and higher, time began to fold within its walls. They thought they were building a masterpiece, but the city mirrored itself perfectly, not just in form, but in fate. A reflection began to form beneath it, not in water or sky, but in another plane, the dark half, a version of the city corrupted, ruined, twisted by sorrow and secrets. The circle tried to undo it. They vanished one by one. Now the city floats, silent and watching, always reflected, always decaying. The real and the unreal, the dream and the nightmare, forever staring into itself. In the heart of Viraxis lies the throne of echoes, said to belong to a ruler whose name has been erased from all living memory. Some say he was a god, others say he was just a man who refused to die. He struck a bargain with the mirror, offering time itself in exchange for immortality. But time fractured. Now voices whisper through the broken halls, candles light without flame. Once I finished the 2 towers, I copy-pasted them to follow the blueprint. Now Viraxis started to take its shape in my square head. What I need to do next is the castle in the center, and if you don't know, when it comes to castles, I'm the worst builder. So I started by making the shape to make things easy for me, and honestly I was lost. I had no idea what to do, and no clue how to pop it off. So I used my secret strategy, which is do random stuff till you see a result, and that's what I did. and eventually I came up with something. I came up with a not bad castle shape, then I added a few details to make it look as a round castle. I tried to keep it simple though. And the ruins rebuilt themselves, slowly, stone by stone, as if the city is trying to wake. No one finds Viraxis by accident. The city calls to those it chooses, through dreams, omens, or madness. You did not build it, you remembered it. And you are not the first. Others have come before you, drowned to the silence, believing they could rebuild it. Some lived insane, others never lived at all. The question is not what the city is, it is what it wants from you. In the final whisper, do not trust the reflection, do not listen to the bells. And if you see yourself building, turn away, that is not you. Though the surface of Viraxis lies still, ancient architects left behind something alive, deep in the mirrored ruins, beneath towers, twisted by time and staircases that loop back into themselves, rests the hot glass, a massive crystal that beats like a slow drum. It does not throb with blood, but with memory. Every stone you place, every block you break, it remembers, and slowly it begins to rebuild, not as you intended, but as it remembers itself. The more you build, the more the city awakens, and then come the echoes. They begin as flickers, shadows darting behind pillars, then whispers. You might hear your own footsteps when you're standing still. A door you swore was closed, now open. Some say the echoes are past builders, trapped but not dead. And others says the reflections of your future self, driven mad, looping the same build forever. On the city's edge, where the towers begin to crumble and float in pieces, lies the glass graveyard, a sea of floating shards, suspended like frozen lightning. Each shard contains a face, some terrified and some serene, all silent. These are the souls that tried to reshape Viraxis against its will. They did not understand. The city does not want to be changed. It only wants to be remembered. Among the shards is said to be one mirror left unfinished, a blank slate. If a builder gazes into it long enough, they might glimpse the final design, the one the obsidian circle never completed, but the cost is always the same, a reflection for a reflection. To take its knowledge, you must leave your image behind. High in the central spire, the needle of hours, rests a clock that does not tick. Its hands float, motionless, hovering over shattered glass. Every attempt to wind it has failed, every attempt to break it, erased. The clock tracks not time, but loops. Each time Viraxis falls, it begins again, slightly different, slightly darker. Some theorize the city has built itself thousands of times, consuming each new architect who dared to try to fix it. You are not the first. You may not even be you. You may just be another version of a builder long forgotten, called back to finish a task you already failed. The mirrored city is not just a reflection. It's an entire world beneath, one you cannot touch, one you must never enter. And yet, some stairs go down forever. Some doors lead to nothing until they don't. The dark Viraxis is alive, watching the upper half. It mimics your every action, yet warps them. Where you place a light, it grows shadow. Where you plant a tree, It withers and blooms black flowers. It wants you to descend. It wants you to join it. If you go too deep, you may fall out of time itself. Endless corridors of previous versions of the city looping into infinity. Somewhere at the very core of the mirror world is said to be the true throne, the place where the original king still waits, not alive, not dead. A builder's last words, found etched into the side of a lantern tower, written in black script, only visible at night. I thought I could tame it, shape it, but it shapes me. Every time I place a block, I forget another piece of myself. My name is... I think I am the king now. After 5 days of working, many hours I put in this project, my first mega build is done. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Firaxis. I can't say it's finished actually, because there is no interior and it's hollowed from the inside, but if you like it, I might make another video completing the whole ruins. I feel like if I complete it, it's gonna be the ultimate dungeon map. Following the lore I made, it's gonna be one of its kind. Give me your opinion or your suggestion down in the comments. And if you have a map idea you want me to build, I would be happy to do so. My building journey just started. It would mean a lot to me to find people that I can share it with. Have a lovely day everyone, and thanks for watching.